Into the Fold is a podcast on mental health issues, produced by the Hogg Foundation for Mental Health. I'm your host, Ike Evans.
It was traumatic. I've talked to my colleagues about it, and it was the worst legislative session we've ever seen. And by worst, we mean trauma. We mean we all of us collectively who believe we should have been working on things that had a real value add to the people of Texas, like fixing the grid. We felt as though we kept catering to an extreme part of the state, and it's frustrating when you're an elected official and you want to do good things and you're forced into a defensive posture all the time. So it was a good thing to have the holiday season to sort of recharge. But I will tell you, I think my mental health is good because that also, it sharpens your edge too. And those of us who love Texas know that we have to fight for Texas.
I've always encouraged people to be a part of the process as much as possible, like participate in those hearings, make your voice heard, go on the legislative record, help take up time to slow these bills down. And one of the collective decisions that Equality Texas and our coalition partners made last session was to not ask people to do that when we were in the Texas Senate side of things. We boycotted a lot of the Texas Senate hearings because they were just overly traumatic on people. It was hard for people to go in and tell their stories. They got asked really invasive questions by senators. Senators were fishing for information about people's personal details about their family and their medical care and their doctors. And you could see kind of the nefarious wheels turning in the heads of some of these really anti-LGBTQ senators, where they were on the spot thinking about, I could file a bill that made it harder for somebody to do this, and I could file a bill that made it harder for somebody to do that, if I could just get a little more information out of these folks.
I've never known any other way than just to be Celia and just be myself. And that's with my colleagues for whom they might represent another party, but they like me, I like them. We care for each other. We have a real embrace on the House floor. But they are put in a situation where they think from a political perspective they cannot stand up for our LGBT community and stand up for just mainstream things. If you look at the pressing issues around the country, it's not about whether or not certain kids can play basketball. There's a lot of pressing issues around the country, and families are hurting, and it's not because a kid wants to be on a team. So that's the tool that I use, is just be real and just be Celia, and know that at some point in time, it's like sitting on a glacier and knowing that sooner or later it's going to melt. and we have to try.
In 2017, the lieutenant governor spent 140 days plus, I think, one legislative session telling us that trans people using the bathroom was the most important thing that the state of Texas needed to be focused on. So much so that all the power of the legislature should be focused on banning trans people from using bathrooms. That bill failed to pass in the regular session. A variation of it failed to pass in that special session. Come 2019, not a single bathroom bill was filed at all. So the question has to be, if the emergency was so crucial in 2017, why, and they didn't pass anything, then why in 2019 weren't they still talking about it? They weren't talking about it anymore because that moral emergency kind of faded off. They used it for the legislative session, and they made people terrified of people that they didn't understand. That was the whole point of it. You're not somebody who knows you know a trans person. It's easy to be misled by lies about trans people. It takes a lot of work to undo that type of misinformation, which we've done a lot of that work. And so have a lot of our partner organizations.